Hey guys, Dakota with Winkler Motorcycle Adventures here. Today I'm going to show you guys how to put on OEM saddlebags on a 2014 Honda Valkyrie. On our trip last year I had soft bags and they were universal mount, so for this big fall trip that we're doing this year, I figured I wanted a little bit bigger saddlebags that are a little bit more rigid mount. Now they're not hard bags, but they are a little bit more rigid. So let's get to it. So these are all the parts to install the saddlebags. Coming up here we have the saddlebag stays and all of the mounting hardware. We have the saddlebag brackets and the mounting hardware. And the most important pieces, we have the actual saddlebags themselves.
Alright, so the actual installation was a little bit tricky. I did the left saddlebag to try and see how it works. They didn't include any instructions for me, so it was a little bit difficult and some trial and error. But as you can see, they look pretty nice installed. They're a little bit more of a rigid mount saddlebag, but they're still a little flexible, which is nice. Alright, so the first step is to take off the factory seat. I have 2 bolts here, and then you just scoot it back up and off. Alright, so what we are going to want to do is right here, we're going to want to unscrew both of these. Now they're just little plastic inserts, so I'm going to get a big flathead screwdriver. We're just going to unscrew these here. We're going to pop them out the rest of the way. And those are where the brackets are going to be mounted. Now to make life a little bit easier, I can't really get the bolts in there when the brackets are already mounted. So I'm going to attach the stays to the bracket. So I'm going to take my saddlebag stay and my saddlebag bracket. Then I'm going to take the 2 metal spacers here, and they will be going in between. So I take my 2 black bolts and I feed the first one in through the back, put the spacer, same with this one. Then I'm just going to finger tight these nuts here. So that way there's still a little bit of play. This guy just doesn't want to cooperate with me today. Okay, so we're going to attach him. Just finger tight for now, because we need a little bit of play to get the rest of this installed. Okay, so these are now finger tight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the small bolt with the small spacer, and these are going to go on the back. The big spacer and the big bolt are going to go on the front. So I'm going to start with these 2 here. So I'm going to slide this in and under without scratching any paint. I'm going to slowly slip this in here. Then put my small bolt in, line up the hole. Then I'm going to finger tighten it down. Now I'm going to let this rest here. I'm going to go get the big spacer and the big bolt. I'm going to attach it to the front here. I'm just going to finger tighten everything down for now. We'll tighten it up later on, but it gives us a little bit of play to get everything installed here. So now the next step is taking off the side cover. So we're just going to pop this out here. We're going to take this plastic piece off so that way we can get to the mounting bracket behind here. Alright, so now we are going to take this out here just a little bit. We're going to put that with the rest of the items to hold this in. Now this takes a little bit of wiggling, but it'll come loose here. We're just going to pop it up and off. Alright, so now this exposes where we're going to mount it here. So now we're going to come back and we're going to grab the chrome bolt and the last nut here. We're going to insert this through the hole with the nut on the back, and we're just going to finger tighten this down as well. Alright, now the next step is going to be to tighten up all of the nuts here. So we're going to want to snug these down, but not too much because these are aluminum and they do strip out fairly easy. You just want them snug. Now this is a little bit trickier. You want to try and get your wrench down and in here on the bolt without scratching too much paint is usually the goal on this. We're going to tighten that one down. Then we're going to move to the next. Snug it up. Alright, now we're going to get to this guy. Going to put our wrench on the nut on the back. Then we're going to tighten this bad boy down too. Alright, so now once all of the bolts for the bracket and the saddlebag stay are tight, now we're going to install the actual saddlebag here. So now we are going to install the inserts and the rubber grommets, and then we're going to install the saddlebag. So first we're going to take one rubber grommet and we're going to put it on each of these inserts. Now that we have rubber grommets on each of the inserts, we're going to install them into the saddlebag, and we're going to put a rubber grommet on the opposite side so that way they will hold for now until we can get this installed. Alright, so now that the inserts and the grommets are installed, we're going to line the saddlebag up here. We're going to take one of the bolts, and I like to start from the top to the bottom. We're just going to insert one and we're going to get it finger tight here. Alright, now that everything is finger tight, we're going to tighten them down with the Allen wrench here. Alright, so now that the saddlebag is installed and all the bolts are tight, all that there is left to do is to put this shroud back on there, put the side cover back on, and reinstall the seat. So here is the finished product, the OEM saddlebags on a 2014 Honda Valkyrie. A couple reasons why I chose the OEM bags over the Corbin comparison models is that the OEM Honda saddlebags are not only cheaper, but they're 24 liters of space versus Corbin's roughly 22 liters of space. I was looking at the Corbin saddlebags. There was actually a gentleman that I spoke to who had them on, and he said the only way that you're actually going to fit all 22 liters of storage in there is if it's liquid. Just the shape of the saddlebag, it fits the bike really nice and they look awesome, but there's no way that you can fit 22 liters of actual stuff inside of it because there's all sorts of nooks and crannies and they're just shaped odd on the inside of the saddlebags. So that is why I chose the OEM Honda saddlebags. And this was the installation video. If you liked it, you found it helpful, feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also, feel free to check us out on Facebook. Our Facebook blog is Winkler Motorcycle Adventures. We now have an Instagram account up and running. It is Winkler Moto ADV. If you thought this was helpful, subscribe to us, and thanks for watching.